Let us execute an immediate, sweeping analytical vector shift away from the smoke-filled, blood-slicked federal alleys of modern domestic wetwork, matte black tactical gear, and black ops safe houses, and glide smoothly into the hyper-refined, calculation-heavy tracking grids of European fine art restoration networks, sovereign intelligence coalitions, and the deeply protective world of high-altitude espionage agents, shielding the highest centers of global faith from total structural collapse. We are crossing the threshold directly into the hyper-monitored, marble-lined halls of the Vatican, exclusive Swiss banking nodes, and the lethal analytical parameters of an intensely sensitive, legacy-altering papal succession optimization matrix with the Order, the exceptional pulse-pounding 20th structural deployment anchoring the globally dominant chart-topping Gabriel Allon series by the absolute undisputed sovereign of elite geopolitical tension, high society operational aesthetics, and masterclass narrative tradecraft, Daniel Silva. This high-stakes narrative tracking sequence delivers an exceptional look at an operational crossroads where a fierce, underestimated global intelligence apparatus running an active defensive survival loop, a powerful, dangerously territorial master assassin turned intelligence chief, and an absolute defense of Western civilization's core institutional sovereignty metrics collide at terminal velocity. Let us map the strategic narrative grid. If you are an elite enthusiast of high-octane, slow-burn political thrillers, where a targeted, hyper-observant intelligence protagonist must navigate an absolute maze of corrupt ecclesiastical inner circles, hidden historic manuscript archives, and a deadly ring of active administrative or theological gaslighting while running a blind survival loop inside a completely compromised European intelligence ecosystem, where an analytical mind uses deep archival profiling, calculated geopolitical boundaries, and absolute mental stamina to outmaneuver an invisible predatory far-right network, and where the author utilizes an incandescent master art restorer and spy chief investigating the suspicious death of a pope diagnostic routine to test our hero's structural limits, this book is engineered to lock you in. Silva completely dominates the high culture meets lethal clandestine statecraft dynamic, capturing the heart-racing intellectual momentum, suffocating institutional paranoia, and heavy deductive depth popularized by genre vargs like John le Carre, Ken Follett, Robert Ludlum, and Frederick Forsyth, while treating realistic oil painting conservation logistics, complex theological alignment arcs, and protective high society extraction grids with absolute technical mastery. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on the highly volatile, calculation-heavy baseline of our central legendary intelligence couple, Gabriel and Chiara Allon, operating under a severe calculation-heavy handicap of an active family vacation interruption, intense Swiss border protocols, and a hyper-visible targeting profile by elite neo-fascist European factions. Behind their rigorous Venetian restoration footprints and tense agency ledger logs lies an intricate matrix of hidden diplomatic allegiances, deeply buried historical secrets, and sharp, high-stakes tactical maneuvers. Gabriel's collective defense mechanisms are locked down tight behind a lifetime of outrunning state-sponsored retaliatory operations and operational exploitation, his entire analytical focus strictly consumed by monitoring sudden threat vectors from rival international intelligence apparatuses, parsing complex behavioral shifts from his powerful, highly supportive partner, and shielding his vulnerable family unit from being entirely wiped out by a ruthless elite cleaning or regular military offensive. The spark ignites when an unexpected high-frequency structural anomaly breaches his active scanning perimeter. Pope Paul VII is found dead under highly irregular circumstances, just as a radical, calculation-heavy secret society known as the Order of St. Helena prepares to hijack the conclave. As the clandestine organization's political mobilization phases enter an increasingly lethal terminal tier, a series of suspicious curial sabotage attempts, targeted archival setups, and calculation-heavy midnight break-ins threaten to permanently eliminate the truth from the Vatican register. The official diagnostic metrics of the global tracking centers flash white-hot when Gabriel's public investigations and defensive movements reveal that his recovery of a lost gospel is radically, impossibly altering the continent's historical balance of power. The standard boundaries of routine diplomatic courtesy and peaceful vacation protocols crumble, and our central protagonists run completely out of standard diplomatic escape vectors. They are thrust directly into an active, invisible war across Italy, Germany, and Switzerland, where deceptive old money cardinals, highly manipulative populist politicians, and a calculation-heavy underground mercenary element launch aggressive countermeasures to permanently suppress their survival data stream. The tactical parameters instantly explode as their historical and survival warfare turns completely active, transforming the exclusive high society Roman villas, dark secret archive vaults, and private fortified embassy chambers into a volatile psychological pressure cooker and a physical battle zone. Our protective intelligence protagonist is forced to deploy his massive intuitive tradecraft, fine art forensic skills, and raw physical combat stamina to repair his perimeter and earn true institutional stability before the next ecclesiastical alignment permanently deletes his progress. When deceptive romantic red herrings, corrupted financial ledger balances, and calculation-heavy high-speed ambushes launch aggressive plays to delete his path, his survival instincts engage their final deployment tracks. Every midnight archival excavation, every silent choice to stand off against an arrogant Swiss guard commander behind standard security barriers, and every intense moment of channeling raw, unyielding survival mechanics chips away at his reliance on original peaceful rules. What follows is an exceptional, high-stakes war of perspective, tactical position, and raw human grit. We watch the global elite's deceptive perimeters completely unwrapped as Silva reveals that the true victory requires more than just surviving an initial ambush or managing a forced intelligence arrangement. It demands an absolute, uncompromising defense of individual dignity, historical truth, and systemic survival against a cold, calculating machine of institutional hierarchy and institutional supremacy. While our central characters smooth over each other's psychological and defensive blind spots with devastating analytical force, creating a fiercely protective web of absolute loyalty around their network, a brutal series of close-quarters tactical confrontations and high-stakes evidentiary breakthroughs shifts the clock into its terminal phase, proving that historical emotional hazards have tracked them to their final outpost. To survive the impending locked grid trap and permanently secure his sanctuary, our resilient hero must unleash an absolute, unyielding defense of his final boundary lines. It is a geopolitical espionage thriller, historical art world suspense, Vatican conspiracy drama, high-velocity European clandestine noir masterpiece that treats deep relational logistics and intense structural friction with elite precision. The tension here burns with a sharp, calculation-heavy intensity. We are talking about that high-frequency, one-whispered confession triggers a fatal catacomb showdown energy, where a sudden pause during an active agency tactical briefing, an unexpected shift in an adversary's protective physical posture during a high-stakes basilica confrontation, or a heavy, possessive realization that an elite intelligence director has completely mapped your personal coordinates carries massive structural weight. Silva writes with an exceptionally fresh, vivid, and beautifully blunt voice, perfectly capturing the heavy, oppressive atmosphere of a private executive vault before a major corporate takeover, and the distinct, subtle scent of polished mahogany, expensive turpentine, fine Italian wine, old vellum, fresh incense, and pure, unadulterated suspense. What truly elevates this benchmark franchise entry into elite territory is the author's unmatched ability to balance complex, high-stakes relationship dynamics and genuine romantic power tradecraft, alongside a breathtaking narrative pace and deep emotional hooks. Our protagonists don't rely on unbelievable, superficial Hollywood superhero action tropes. Their immense situational intelligence, strategic patience, and profound survival instincts match the complexity of the chaotic modern corporate and high society underworld they dominate step for step, making their choices to risk everything feel profoundly authentic and deeply gripping. The pacing moves with calculated momentum, tracking intense conversational standoffs and breathtaking tactical breakthroughs before ratcheting up to an absolute, jaw-dropping conclusion that delivers total, hard-earned advancement to their horizon. The Order is the definitive pro-level upgrade your high-stakes international thriller and contemporary geopolitical suspense library demands right now. It is elegant, immensely fast-paced, and utterly unputdownable. It proves that when your entire sanctuary is targeted by a cold, calculating institutional monster, the most revolutionary play you can execute is to lock your perimeters, trust your elite survival training, and fight like hell alongside your network to rewrite the data. So, secure your personal reading sanctuary, review your emotional defensive perimeters, open your Kindle, and prepare to track the boardroom.